Hey guys, um, this is my 33 to 35 week video. Excuse me. It's going to be a little long, not too long. I just have quite a bit to talk about as I am in my 35th week as of today. I made 35 weeks. Yesterday I made 35 weeks. So the 35 week kind of thing is going to be a little different, but I do have a lot to talk about. First, in between, I think it was not last week, but the week before, so 33 weeks, we did our hospital tour. Our hospital is about 15 to 20 minutes away from where we live. And so we've done a couple run-throughs of getting there, which is kind of cool. So during the hospital tour, it wasn't exactly what I expected, but I don't really know what I was expecting because it was kind of weird. But we went through the hospital tour. They took us through the actual room that I would actually give birth in. They showed us, if I do end up doing the C-section, like where that whole area would be. They showed us the NIC unit where the baby would be if there was issues. They also showed us upstairs where the postpartum places, not postpartum, but the post-operation, post-pregnancy, post-everything room is, where I would actually be staying for the rest of the day. We talked about a little bit about epidurals and kind of those things. We talked about natural birth, not in depth about anything, but just, you know, a little bit. So it was nice to kind of hear like a nurse's opinion. The hospital, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really nice. I had went there, like I said, a couple weeks ago when I had some Braxton Hicks contractions and I was kind of nervous. So I kind of knew what the hospital looked like and everything like that. So the hospital tour, it was nice. It was just, you know, really like a tour of the hospital in general. I got to talk to the insurance people about, you know, circumcision and the cost with that and all that kind of good stuff. And I will get into that towards the end of the video because I want to talk about circumcision. But it was nice. We did a nice little hospital tour, so now we know exactly where to go when I go into labor or when my water breaks or whatever, and it was pretty cool. So that was the hospital tour. I am starting to do birthing classes. Unfortunately, with Cam's schedule right now with school, she's unable to make the classes that they offer at Babies R Us that I'm taking. Last week, I took the Baby Basics class, which was really nice because it was just more about like when you bring the baby home. Things that are really important to remember. And it was nice just to kind of get an idea of, you know, what I need to think about when I bring the baby home, and you know, the getting to see the pediatrician soon and things like that. So that was pretty cool. On Monday, I went to the breastfeeding class, which I am going to breastfeed, so that was kind of interesting too, just kind of getting some ideas and finding out some information about breastfeeding. If you guys want to know anything that I really learned in detail, hit me up and ask me questions and let me know. I will definitely answer, but it was a lot of information, so I'm not going to really go over exactly what I learned, but it was a lot of information, so it was very, very helpful. And tonight, within a couple of hours, I'm going to be going to the birthing journey class, which is going to be more like the Lamaze class. It's going to talk to me about more breathing and pain management and things like that, which I'm really excited to learn about. But unfortunately, the last 2 weeks have been Cam's finals week, so she hasn't been able to make it. But what we're going to do is we're going to do an online Lamaze class. It's supposed to be done in an 8-week period of time, but we're going to cut it down into 4 weeks. So each week we'll do probably 2 lessons, if not triple up, because we don't have a whole lot of time. I literally have 4 weeks until my C-section date, so in 5 weeks to my original due date. So I am pretty excited. Let's see, what else? I have my notes on my phone, so sorry. We did put the crib up. I'll show you guys pictures. I don't want to show you guys the crib. Actually, we just had our carpets cleaned, so I have like all of his stuff, like some of his stuff in that area as well, so it's not as cute and stuff. But I'll put some pictures in here so you guys can see his crib and that whole excuse me, and that whole shebang. It was really nice to put his crib up. It made it a little bit more real. Like seeing his crib up was like, oh my gosh, like he's coming. So we're super excited. Now I'm doing weekly doctor's visits. So I go to my doctor every week. It's a very fast, quick visit. Today I did the strep B test where they do a culture of my vagina and a culture of my anus. It's not like they go scoop it inside or whatever, but I guess it's just a culture to make sure that I don't have strep B. I read up a little bit about it, but I guess it's like something that you can pass on to the babies when they come out of the birthing canal, that kind of thing. So they just test you for it to make sure that you don't have it or you're not a carrier of it. So that was the big thing that we did there. Now I'm going to get into circumcision. So when we went to, well, first I'll tell you, me and Cam both have been very pro circumcision. I'm not a guy, so in my mind, it's just what my parents have done for my brothers, that kind of thing, so I never thought twice about it. So when we went to the hospital tour about 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, something like that, we talked to them, and they were saying that my insurance, I have Medicaid, and with Medicaid, they don't cover circumcisions in the hospital anymore, because Medicaid has changed to different health plans. So although I have Medicaid, I have United Healthcare Medicaid. So every plan has their own like specifications on what they cover and what they don't. With my insurance, it does cover him up to the first 12 weeks. So as long as I got him circumcised within the first 12 weeks, it would be covered. But the hospital has had so many issues with Medicaid that they no longer cover it in the hospital at all. If I wanted to get it done in the hospital, it would be like $2,000. So I was like, okay, this is going to be insane. So what they did was they gave me a list of approved doctors that come to that hospital, and she told me that I could call them, and if they, do the circumcisions in the hospital, that I could have those doctors be his pediatrician, and they could actually come and do the circumcision. Well, I called this doctor that I thought was amazing, just from the reviews online that I had, and he was in that area, so I called him to find out if he was able to do the circumcision in the hospital, and he said that they don't do it inside the hospital. So I was like, that's kind of a bummer or whatever, but I was still going to go with him until I started talking about circumcision, and she said that she's like, I know for a fact Medicaid doesn't cover it. And I'm like, well, that's not true, because my insurance does cover it. The United Healthcare does actually cover it. And she's like, well, I would tell you that I can tell you from experience that it doesn't cover it. It'll be $200 if you do it within the first 4 weeks. So I kind of felt some kind of way about it, because I was like, I know what I read, and I know that I'm smart enough to be able to distinguish what is and what is not covered. So I ended up calling Medicaid. Actually, I ended up calling United Healthcare. And talked to them. They pulled up my plan, and they were like, yeah, no, the baby is covered for 12 weeks. So if the doctor is saying that they don't cover it or that Medicaid doesn't cover it, it's because they want to get the $200 from you instead of billing us. So I felt like they were kind of a crooked doctor's office. So anyways, I realized that, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get him circumcised inside of the hospital. So I contacted a doctor that was a little bit closer to home, and they were like, no, I mean, if Medicaid is saying they'll cover it, we'll bill Medicaid, and or we'll bill United Healthcare, and then if they don't cover it, then you'll be stuck with a bill, which I'm fine with, because I talked to Medicaid, or I talked to United Healthcare, and they were like, if you receive a bill about circumcision within the first